It starts simple, almost boring, and then it explodes. I'm standing in the Atlas Meridian lobby just before midnight. Hoodie travel sweats, beat-up sneakers that scrubbed citrus smell of expensive places hanging in the air. And the night manager with the ironed smile says, "Sir, I need you to leave before I call security." 9 minutes later, 2 badges will hit the marble hard enough to ring in your chest. But right then I just breathe and say I have a reservation, because calm isn't weakness. Calm is the lid on the pot, and I know exactly why I'm here. I had a 14-hour flight, a back that feels folded, and a video call with investors in Seoul in under 40 minutes. All I wanted was a key, a shower, a coffee that could stand on its own, and instead, I got Trent and Sierra names stitched in neat white thread under chandelier light. Trent leaning on the counter like it's his porch. Sierra doing the quick once-over that decides who belongs and who doesn't. Executive suites run $1,800 a night, Trent adds, like he's doing me a kindness. We don't take vouchers, he doesn't touch my phone. Sierra doesn't either. And across the lobby, an older couple, Ed with a folded newspaper, and Ruth with a steady purse hand, sit up just enough to show they're paying attention. I've been underestimated long enough to let people show me who they are. I don't rush the scene. I glance at the clock behind the desk. p.m. 39 minutes to Seoul, the lobby is glass marble and echoes the kind of place that confuses Polish for dignity. Cook. Trent says breath like stale coffee. We have standards, and it's funny how pretty that word sounds until it's used like a stick. Pull a thin leather folio from my pocket, the one thing on me that looks like it belongs in the building, and set it on the marble. Before you call anyone, I say, let's make sure we're talking about the same place. Sierra gives a short laugh. You've heard 1,000 times. The laugh that says the story's already over, sir. Anyone can mock up a confirmation. She says we see it all the time, fair. Anyone can fake a screen, but it's harder to fake paper. I open the folio, slow, not for drama, just to feel the hinge of the moment. Meridian Hospitality letterhead, date, price, property owner, my name looking weirdly formal under chandelier light, and Trent stares like the letters are trying to trick him. What is this? He asks without touching it. Some kind of prank. Sierra leans in, calls it a social media thing, and a woman in a navy blazer steps out from a side hallway with a tablet tucked to her chest. Lena, who recognizes me and then catches herself, when I give her the smallest shake of my head, not yet, because the thing I learned as a kid is this: you don't interrupt someone while they build your case for you, you just record it. Ed clears his throat, polite and sharp. Excuse me, he says, my wife and I checked in 2 hours ago wearing jeans and sneakers. No one asked us for anything. Ruth lifts her phone without hiding it. We've been recording since he said security. Our daughter's a civil rights attorney. She already has the first 5 minutes. Trent's jaw goes hard. He tries. You can't record in a private business. And I put a fact in the room and let it sit. New York is one-party consent. Lena knows it. Trent knows it too. But he's hoping the word security will do what it always does. You know what I mean? The lights in this lobby have seen a lot of people hurry themselves out the door just to avoid a scene. I'm not hurrying. Trent finally presses call on corporate hands, a sleepy voice. A version of me that starts with suspicious, the seconds crawl. 27. 33 minutes. I hit record on my own phone and watch my compliance dashboard populate in real time. Red bars, yellow bars, keyword flags that ask simple questions like, who was asked for extra documentation? Who heard standards? Who got the mint and the smile? I'm not angry, I'm tired. Tired of paying twice, once with money, and again with dignity. And while we stand there under a chandelier, pretending it's just light, the call ends. Trent's face rearranges itself. She said, The Atlas. Meridian changed hands. In March, he murmurs. She said the new owner is doing unannounced audits. She said he's in New York this week. And Sierra goes still in that way people do when the floor under the rules tilts. Lena lays her tablet beside my phone. I notified Regional last week that audits might happen by the owner. She says, eyes flicking to me. And that's your twist right there. Not the gotcha, not the movie moment, just the quiet click of a lock turning from the inside. Yeah, that happened, and the lobby suddenly learns who has the keys. I don't gloat. Victory isn't fireworks when you've had enough doors shut in your face. It's the relief of proof. I swipe to system logs. Here's what I see. I tell them who got waved through wearing shorts and flip-flops, who got questioned for wearing a hoodie patterns. Don't lie. Sierra stares at the screen like it's translating her day into a language she doesn't speak. We also have a dress code. She tries one more time, and I slide a printout across the Marble website. Terms and conditions approved by me in May. No dress code, no sneaker. Rule, lots of language about respect for all guests. Ed nods, like a man who's been quietly keeping score his whole life. Ruth lowers her phone and folds her fingers together. People talk about being neutral, but bystanders aren't neutral. They're either extra weight or extra ballast, and these two are ballast. I check the clock. 11:29:31 minutes, and I make the offer in a voice as calm as glass. Resign now, and I'll instruct HR to provide neutral references or be terminated for cause. The recordings are already archived. The system triggered 8 minutes ago. Trent laughs in that elastic way that means panic. You can't do that. I've got a family. And Ed answers him before I do. You should have remembered that. When you reached for security like a lever, he says low and even. And Sierra whispers that she didn't say suspicious until Lena taps the transcript. And there it is, every syllable captured. Not for revenge, for accountability. 20 seconds. I say choose, and I've thought a lot about mercy, about second chances and who gets them. I don't want their ruin. I want a lobby where this conversation can't happen again. But culture only moves when consequence enters the room. Trent rips his badge off, lanyard snapping. The sound hits the marble with a crack. Sierra sets hers down like it weighs 10 pounds. I'm sorry, she says more to the room than to me. And Lena checks me in under a minute. Keys, cool in my palm, elevator doors sliding open with that hotel sigh before they close. I tell them what happens next. External auditors with real authority, QR codes at every desk, that route complaints straight to a third party, cameras with audio in public spaces, posted and disclosed to protect guests and employees, monthly reviews with teeth. And if you ever come back to hospitality, you'll work under that system too. The doors meet, and I see my reflections stutter and settle. 2 minutes later, I'm in the suite rinsing the airport off my face and walking straight into that investor call. The money hits the next day, but that isn't the win, I remember. The win is what comes after. 3 months later, the lobby feels different. The light is warmer, the piano is softer. People look up and smile with their eyes. Lena isn't carrying a tablet. She's got a radio on a new Blazer. Regional ops receipts kept her, and she kept the receipts. The numbers sing, if you care about people rating up to 4. 9. Discrimination complaints at 0 for 90 days, revenue up, because guests came back and brought their friends, the QR codes. Get scanned. The auditors show up, unannounced. The system holds. Ed and Ruth stop by on their way to a show and hand me a paper bag with 2 cookies, the size of my palm. Ed says he hates confrontation, but loves fairness. Ruth squeezes my forearm and asks me for one favor: make it impossible for anyone else to have to press record where she stood. That's the whole point, and quietly away from the lobby. Trent emails not to ask for his job, just to say he's at a roadside motel upstate trying to do better. Sierra writes a real apology to Lena, 3 pages, the kind of specifics you only learn when you sit with your silence and name it. I don't post any of it. The marble doesn't need applause, it needs to mean the same thing for everyone who walks across it. Here's the part that sticks with me when Trent said standards. My chest got tight, not because of him, because I heard my younger self in there too. The guy who once told a desk agent to be more selective about upgrades and didn't hear how that landed. We are all capable of being the latch. The work is to be the door, so yeah, I made a hard call in a loud room, and I can live with it, but I'm not interested in playing hero. I'm interested in building guardrails, so the next person in a hoodie at midnight doesn't have to be steel to get a key. If you've been here with me this long, tell me what you think was I right to demand resignations on the spot, or should I have put them on leave and sent them to training? What is justice in a lobby like that? What does mercy look like when the chandelier is bright and the clock is ticking? Drop your take in the comments. Share what you've seen, the doors that shut for no good reason, and the people who opened them anyway. Hit subscribe if you want more stories, told the way they happened, no polish, that scrubs off what matters. Hit, like if this hit you, and tell me how you'd change a system without burning the people inside it, because the next time those elevator doors close, I want every person on both sides to walk out better than they were when they stepped in.